Hello there and welcome back to the Dodgers port, where we've got a nice shiny Weymouth once again sat in the middle of the port screen. And what does that mean? It means we're going to go and do just another standard, boring, nothing special Tier 2 battle. That's not actually true. The Tier 2 battle I'm about to show you is one I finished 10 minutes ago and I haven't stopped shaking yet. It was an absolute humdinger. No spoilers, it goes right to the wire. Let's jump in. See you there. So here we are again on the nice shiny Weymouth. These are my favourite kind of maps, the ones where we just have one cap circle each. My usual tactic on this, especially against newer players, is to sit back and let them come to me and just pick them off one at a time, specifically in battles like these where we can see that they've got 4 destroyers. The idea is let the 4 destroyers rush, pick the destroyers off, which this ship's very good at doing, and then once we've dealt with the destroyers, then we'll deal with the cruisers. Of course it helps if more of your team stay behind as well, and on this kind of map it looks like that's a possibility. We've got destroyers on either wings. The ones on the extremes probably going to go to their cap zone. The other two hopefully going to stay in or around where I am. Now, at the beginning of this battle, I don't think I was really 100% paying that much attention to it. I was kind of just waiting for the battle to unfold and wondering where the threat was going to come. Are they going to come through the middle? Are they going to come around the flanks? It's a Tier 2 battle. I'm not expecting a great deal of world-shattering tactics. I mean, they see destroyer automatically putting his smoke out when he probably shouldn't have been. I thought I might get my running into an island out of the way early in this battle just so it doesn't come back to give me problems later, but nah, let's stay away from it. So, as I said in the intro at the port, not your normal battle. But at this stage, it looks like it is going to be just a normal battle. I'm taking up a position because it's fairly open in the middle here, and I do not want to be ganked from either side. So I'm just trying to find a nice position. This island in front of me looks like a really nice one. I can just sit around there and pick people off as they come through the channels on either side. However, we absolutely can't resist someone sailing nice and straight on like that. Have a bit of that. And I took a bit of the island out. I do like that if you play this game on the ultra high graphics settings, if you've got a rig that'll do that, that you get a lot of nice things like that, snow falling off as you hit snow covered mountains, and as you might see later on, you get some volcanoes actually spewing lava into the sea. Annoyingly, it doesn't do any damage to your ship if you sail through it. Why am I talking rubbish? Because there's not a great deal happening at the moment. Believe me, that's all going to change. But for now, it's simply, there you go, there's a nice ship sailing exactly where I want him, keeping the islands between me and them, so that things are not going to get too nasty in return, because if you look at the minimap, and as I said in the previous video, you should always be looking at the minimap to see what's happening, and the minimap shows it's really dissolved into 2 straight lines. It's almost like a Napoleonic battle of red versus green, just everybody strung out across the middle. Now, that suits me because I'm just sitting back because I've got confidence in my ability to hit people at this kind of range and just letting them all have a fight with each other, and I'll just pick off the easier targets, the people who, and there's always somebody giving you a flat side when there are this many ships. Don't feel you have to fire at the nearest ship or even the ship with the least health. Always try and find somebody who's sailing side on, because that's where you're going to do the most damage, he says, doing 280 damage. So the enemy team has taken the lead. Indeed they have. We've lost all 4 of our destroyers, and now we've lost a cruiser. So we're 2 destroyers and a cruiser down. Not the start I was hoping for, and I have to put a lot of that blame on me. I don't think I was being impactful enough at the beginning of the battle. I certainly am now. Now I'm raining down unholy death on everybody. But I spent too much time getting in position, and you'll remember something I said in the first video, which is, guns not firing do no damage. And I was just simply not firing guns for a while. And I really need to start thinking about this now, because if this battle gets any further away, then it's going to get completely away. He's doing exactly the right thing. He's turned away. However, here we have a destroyer. I'm absolutely terrified he's going to torpedo me. So what I would say is, when you see me looking through the reticule like that, always keep an eye bottom left, and that gives you an idea of what the aspect of my ship is, and you'll see it's always turning. I very, very rarely sail with the ship pointing in one direction for any length of time. I'm always turning. It just gives people a lot more to think about. So, okay, we've sank their third destroyer. They've got one left, but we've lost another cruiser, and they haven't lost any cruisers yet. So we are a long way down. But the battle feels like it's starting to open up a little bit more for me now. People are doing exactly what I thought they'd do, which is to sail through these two channels around that island. And I'm just basically picking off the one who's giving me the easiest target to try and get back into this battle. There's the first cruiser gone. However, we've lost 2 cruisers and 4 destroyers, with 2 ships down. Thought we'd give this guy a pop over there, because his health is quite low. Looking at the cap circles, we've got a few ships in their cap circle, but they've left enough people back that I don't think we're going to capture that. Well, certainly not in the near future. And I think that's why that ship was heading back, just to add some extra beef to that. Now, I just noticed there, as you probably noticed, that I'd just been shot from the port side. I'd kind of missed there was a ship to my port side. So where is he? Oh, there he is. Okay, do we go after him? Do we run away? No, we just angle. The enemy is about to win, the AI tells me, and just look at that ship count. Holy mother of God. Okay, we've got 4 ships left now to their 8. Is this the island I'm going to run into? Every battle has to have an island that we run into. No, I don't think so. Taking a really sharp turn. Oh, down to 3 ships now. 5 ships behind. So what do you do in this situation? Do you give up? Do you throw your arms in the air? Do you swear at your teammates? Do you tell them they're all rubbish and should uninstall the game? Well, a lot of people do seem to do that. Me, not so much. What I decide now is, let's have some fun. The battle's almost certainly lost, but if you're going to win a battle like this, you have to treat it as the old adage, how do you eat an elephant? One mouthful at a time, or one bite at a time. All I can do here is just try to take out one ship, enemy ship, at a time, and just hope, because remember, I have heals. I've already popped one, but I've got 2 heals left, so I'm comfortable that with my no detonation flag on, they're not going to just take me out of the game really easily. They're going to have to work for it. I've got a lot of health, I've got 2 heals, and they can't detonate my magazine. So just one ship at a time. That said, there are a lot of ships out there, and as we lose more and more of our ships, they've got less people to shoot at. But there's one gone, and there's the island. Yay! No battle complete without running into an island. We should run a sweepstake. At what time is the Artful Dodger going to fail to dodge the island? So, I've run aground, but only aft. Now, you could try and reverse out, you could try and steer. When you're only just aground like that, by far the best thing to do is just go forward. So, what's the situation now? We've still got 3 ships left. Torpedoes, dead front. That's not what I want to hear. So, decisions. An almost dead cruiser and an almost dead destroyer. Cruiser. Because the destroyer's already fired his torpedoes, and his guns ain't going to do anything to me. So if we can get rid of one more cruiser. There he is. There he's gone. Right. Now, where did that destroyer go? Oh, he's behind me. Okay. Let's ignoring some more. Now, the one thing you can see is a lot of the ships, although they've got a lot more ships, their health isn't brilliant. So it's just a case of now picking them up. I have genuinely no idea what this destroyer is doing at this point. He seems to be reversing towards me. I've seen some weird tactics over the years, but reversing straight towards somebody, that's a new one. And there we go, a whole lot of things. The Kraken, the AI is still telling me that the enemy is about to win. I'm no longer sure. The Kraken award there for 5 kills, Confederate, lots of things coming in, but at this stage, I genuinely don't care. I don't want to get a Kraken and lose. That just really sucks. Oh dear, we're now down to just 2 ships. And you'll notice I daren't leave my cap circle because they're just camping it. And every time I do a wide arc to leave the cap circle, like I've just done, they start capping it. So I have to constantly be spinning around and making sure that I'm not going too far away from it. They've still got 5 ships left, but I do have an ally. I have got one wonderful ally who's managed to stay alive through this battle, and he's genuinely doing some help. He's pouring damage into ships, and he's soaking up some of the fire. Oh, a nice citadel. But we are still 3 ships behind. But does it look like we're going to be 3 ships behind for long? No, not at all. Because he's dead. And I'm coming under fire from at least 1 ship. Oh my days. Yeah. Oh my days. Yeah, it looks like everybody wants a piece of me. So, again, 1 ship at a time. He's near, but he's angling. But not angling enough. I'm getting concerned now. My health is low, but I do have a repair that I can now use. That was an absolutely rubbish shot. That wasn't. And now he's going to turn. That's a mistake. That's an absolutely dreadful piece of sailing. Why on earth would you turn side on when somebody's pouring all of their guns into you? I think what we said before, he's doing it because he wants to get all of his guns to bear on me. But, you know, it's just not worth it. You know, angle yourself a bit more. If you lose one of your guns, you lose one of your guns. It's at this stage that for the first time in the entire battle, I actually think there's a chance we could win. Because both of those ships are at half health. I'm at a lot less than half health, but I've got 1 heal left. And I'm kind of hoping it doesn't come down to using that. So we'll just fire a few shells around the island. I'm just checking where my colleague is, because I can see on the minimap he's very close to me. The very last thing I want is for us to accidentally ram and sink each other. That would be absolutely heartbreaking. Now, under normal circumstances, what I'd do here is I would continue to put fire into the same ship that my colleague is putting fire into, because focus fire, get rid of the ship, he's got no guns. But he's just not the best target for a big chunk of this part of the battle. A nice 4,000 damage, that puts him almost dead. And I've used my last heal. So what we've got is what we've got. And what we've got is not very much. I've got 1/3 of health left. It's at this point, you can't see it on the firing, but at this point I was genuinely starting to shake, knowing that 1 bad broadside into me now wouldn't kill me, but it would lose us the battle. But now we're level. And I haven't seen the other ship for a while. It's about at this point I suddenly realised I've actually sunk 8 ships, and there are 2 left. I don't think I've ever sunk 10 ships before in a random battle. Well, there's 9. And for the very first time, we are in front. Now, all we have to do to win the battle is nothing. We can sit at our cap. The one remaining person who I haven't seen all battle, so they may be AFK. But there's a safe option, which is to sit in the cap zone, and if they're not AFK, they're going to have to come to us, because we've got more points. But that's 6 minutes away. My playstyle just isn't about sitting in a cap circle for 6 minutes. Not when I'm on 9 kills, it isn't anyway. So I decide what I'm going to do is I'll take a cheeky look, see if he's sat up there AFK, because if he is sat up there AFK, that's 10 kills, and it's a win, a quicker win. If it turns out that he comes out firing and he's on full health, which is likely considering I've not seen him, then what I'll do is I'll turn around and I'll skedaddle really quickly back to my cap circle and my colleague, who as you'll notice is doing the sensible thing. He's staying put in the cap circle so that if that ship now appears, he can deal with it and stop them capping. So, all the way up here now, I'm just waiting for the either ship to appear or you have been detected. Where is he? Must be AFK, surely. Why else would he not have appeared in the whole battle? And if he is AFK, shame on you. That one extra ship could very easily have made all the difference for the red team to win this battle. And the further I get, the more I think, yeah, he must be AFK. 5 minutes to go. 5 minutes is plenty of time. Now, if I did find him and he's AFK, I would still be very careful, because it's possible he could play AFK, and if I get too close, he could absolutely pagger me. So, let's dip into their cap circle. This will tell me pretty quickly whether or not he's anywhere here. And he must be, because I'm not capping the circle. Oh, detected. Oh. He's run into an island. And he's not moving. I think he's run into the island, or just parked there. I know what he's done. He's seen the battle going really well, and he's thought, I can just park against this island, go for a cup of tea, and when I come back we'll have won. Because after all, we were an absolute country mile in front. So what I'm not going to do, just in case, is I'm not going to put myself anywhere near his guns. Now I can see his guns and they're pointing the other way. So what I'm doing now is two things. I'm just going to sit here and try and get as many guns onto the aft section as possible, hopefully to finish him off. And I know I'm over penetrating, but I'm just not willing to sail around to the other side to put a broadside into him. His guns are pointing that way. He could come back from his cup of tea and he could sink me, and that would then put the game almost tied. That would be a problem. Now, I can also see my colleague, thank you colleague, is heading up around the other side of the island. So part of me is thinking, if he sinks this ship, I'm going to be absolutely devastated, because you don't get a chance to sink 10 ships in a random battle very often. So we'll just keep putting shells into his aft quarter. Well, that was garbage, wasn't it? But interestingly, look, there's smoke coming out of his funnels. Why would there be smoke coming out of his funnels? I think he's doing some kind of weird botting where he just set the route on the map beforehand, and that route took him straight into that island, and he figured he'd just sit there and farm the wind for doing nothing. Well, he's going to be really surprised when he comes back and finds that he lost this battle. Because make no mistake, he's lost this battle. My only concern at this moment is whether or not my colleague is going to take the 10th kill. But thankfully not. And there we go, 10 kills in a random battle. Let's be honest, it's a tier 2 battle. If it was a tier 10 battle and I'd sunk 10 ships, I'd currently be dancing around with my pants on my head. But it wasn't, so thankfully, for all concerned, I'm not. What can you learn from something like that, other than that there is a little bit of a gulf between an experienced player and people who are just learning the game? What you can learn is, first of all, in the words of Jason Nesmith from Galaxy Quest, never give up, never surrender. While you are afloat, or while one of your team is afloat, there is 100% always a chance. Don't give up, don't throw your arms in the air, don't start swearing at people, don't storm off and go make a cup of coffee. And equally, if you're winning, don't go off and expect to come back and find that you've won, because as the last ship found out, things don't always work out that way. So, how did we turn what looked like a certain defeat into a very, very improbable victory? As I said in the battle, one ship at a time. Just do the basic things all the way through it. never giving anybody a clear shot, constantly turning, constantly moving. Once I'd got my head in the game, constantly firing at the juiciest targets I could find. And once it got to 4 against 2, even though we were outnumbered 2 to 1, at that point I genuinely felt that the game was within our grasp. I'd love to give a shout out to the guy who stuck around with me and helped to win that game right at the end, but I'm an idiot and I didn't save the screen at the end, so I don't know what he was called. Chances of him ever watching this video, non-existent. I really hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you learnt with one important lesson from that, which is you can always win a battle. Now, picked up for what it's worth 3 combat achievements: Kraken for killing 5 ships in one random or ranked battle. In fact, do we not get a double Kraken for 10? Is that not a thing? High Caliber for doing 30% of the total hit points of all the enemy ships in damage. That's a toughie. And Confederate for damaging 6 or more of the enemy ships and doing 20% damage at least to those ships. I do find when you get the Kraken, you usually get the other 2 by default, but, you know, as I said earlier, let's not get carried away, it was a tier 2 battle. What I would say is, if you're a tier 2 player or a tier 3 player or a tier 4 player, just do the basics well. Keep an eye on where everybody is, don't give anyone an easy shot, shoot the targets that are in front of you and are most likely to sink. Try and focus fire on the same ship as your friendly ships if you can, because the sooner you sink a ship, the sooner it stops firing at you. And I know I've said it before, guns not firing do no damage. You definitely don't want 5 or 6 ships all firing at you at once. Get rid of them one ship at a time. Even for a tier 2 battle, I was genuinely shocked to have come out of that with a win. I hope you enjoyed it. I doubt very much I'll have another video tomorrow, and certainly not one as exciting as that. Until then, enjoy safe sailing. Bye bye.